Hello, I'm Tunahan, and today we are interviewing people from our theater. And today I am here with.
Dennis, hi.
Hello, Dennis. Thanks for being here, first of all, today. And I have a few questions about the play itself I'd like to ask you. So,
Of course.
my first question will be, can you briefly tell us about your role in the play and what it means to be you personally?
All right. I play Pontius Pilate in the production of The Last Days of Judas Iscariot. He is the governor of Judea during the time, and it's a really powerful role, actually. Yeah.
Do you have any details that you like to introduce or like talk about a bit more?
About my character.
Yeah.
Well, he is a pretty powerful guy, to be honest. First of all, he's misogynist. He's a part of the hierarchy, so he has actually almost all the power. He represents the Augustus, the Caesar, in the play, actually. So he's actually really, really, really strong in that sense, and he is the one who eventually orders the crucifixion of Jesus Christ.
Do you have any moment that is your favorite? Like,
In the play?
yeah.
Well, the whole play is actually perfect, I think. Like, it's structured around Judas Iscariot, of course, and whether he's guilty or not. So, yeah, I think the whole play is is a thing in itself.
All right. Moving on to my second question. Have you ever had any experience before in the theater, or is this something new for you?
This is actually, well, yes, I did do some, like, basic plays in middle school, not in high school, but those weren't really actually serious. So I think it's my first actual amateur theater play. So yeah, I'm excited.
Okay, good luck with that. And lastly, I would like to ask about the Judas himself. What do you think about his position in the play, and what do you think about his fate?
The whole play is actually, it circles around whether Judas Iscariot is guilty or not. So to me, I believe Judas Iscariot actually represents the whole humanity, you know, the universality of the human nature and everything. I don't think no one is completely guilty nor innocent. So in that sense, I believe he represents us, the common human beings and the common man.
So you have more like a in the middle.
Yeah,
He's on
I
the
would
middle.
say yes.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Thanks for being here today.
Thank you so
again,
much.
Dennis. Nice
Yeah.
to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Hi guys, I'm Shada, and today I'm here with one of my backstage from our theater of our department. So can you briefly introduce yourself?
Yes.
No need to.
Okay. Hello, I'm Asya. I am kind of the Joker 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 member of the backstage. I kind of do a lot of things all at once. It's a bit tiring.
So can you briefly talk about what is your like function or duty in this backstage?
Yes.
Because it's the whole work, as I heard.
Yes. So I'm in the lights and sound department. I'm handling the lights. I also edited the script. I handle finances. I handle communications, internal and external. What else do I do? A lot of things. I forget, but
Yeah, I mean that's a lot of work. We appreciate it. Yeah.
thank you.
So I wanna ask, what is the function of lightning in this theater? Because as I watched in the previous parts of the theater, it was like required a lot of work in terms of lightning. So what is the function of lightning?
Okay. The thing is, we have a lot of witnesses in the court, and sometimes they function as recesses to the court, the main court session. So with lighting, we kind of change the atmosphere. For example, it can be a memory, it can be a dream, it can mirror what Judas or Jesus thinks at the moment. So it kind of about setting the mood and how characters reflect themselves and also the stuff that's going on in the play. So the main function is that. It has also a function of drawing the audience into the play. Other than that, I can't really remember, but these are the two main functions in the
Job, I
play.
think. So I want to ask, what was your first reaction when you read the script of this theater?
I was really surprised that it is a comedy and it has very, very funny jokes. But to handle a situation as serious as this, because, in the end, we all know the story of Judas and Jesus and how the betrayal went and how Judas kind of tried to redeem himself or like save Jesus. These are really serious points. But to handle this as a comedy and to incorporate some contemporary stuff in it. I was really surprised, and I was really, I had a laugh. We all had a laugh, and we still do. That was my first initial reaction.
Yeah, I think that's a bit funny because it's kind of a modernized version, right?
Yes, it's
Because,
a modern play.
Yeah, one of the lines that I remember was the French fries kind of thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's this funny comic relief parts.
Yes.
So my third question goes: how does his inability to fully tell his own story affect the way we see him, Judas?
The way I think is we always kind of hear these stories from the historians or older people. And they always kind of tell these stories to us to take lessons out of them. So when we have Judas and his inability to tell his own story, I think kind of mirrors that.
Yeah.
And we have a lot of witnesses. We have his mother, we have the saints, we have the lawyers, and they're always kind of telling the story, and they're enforcing something out of it to take the audience or the person that is listening to the story to take something from it. And because Judas is unable to do that, I think it's in a way that we can never know for sure, and I think it kind of shows how history kind of progresses through different comments and point of views, perceptions.
I totally agree with this. So my last question goes: do you think Judas is guilty or not?
This is a hard question.
Yeah, it's a bit controversial, but I want to hear your
controversial. Well, I would love to say it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think
for
it
who?
matters. It matters how we respond to his situation
Yeah,
as
so
the audience.
you say audience should have their own answers and should
Yes.
solve their own problems in that terms?
Exactly. Yeah,
thank you.
100%.
Okay, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.
Today, out here with me, I have
I'm Ilayda and I play the judge.
welcome, Elida, and I have several questions that I'd like to ask you. And first of all, can you introduce us your character?
Okay, so as I said, I play the judge, and I think even though Judge is not a huge character in terms of their lines, and advocates Cunningham and Fayomi always like talking with each other, but Judge is always kind of interfering, but at the same time present. So I think it's a crucial part in the play, and I think I do represent the audience itself as well. What I mean by that is, as you know, or maybe you haven't watched it yet, but you will see at the end of the play. So Judge is kind of confused as well, even though Judge is always angry and always, confused whether to make the decisions. And usually in the previous plays that they have acted out in the scene, the judge is usually played by an old character. So we had our confusions in terms of how to portray that, because we could have changed it, we could have kept it old, but in this play, judge is more confused side rather than the older side. I really like Judge's relationship with Bailiff, because Judge always expects too much of Bailiff, but Bailiff is also just another confused character within the play. So yeah.
Do you have any favorite scenes from the play, or what's your favorite scene that you like to act?
That's a good question. Let me think about it a little bit.
Yeah, it's fine.
I do like the scene where Henrietta and Judas start, and then we kind of see the childhood of Judas, and how he plays with the spinning top. I like to see Judas's other side, because usually he's on the stage, not present, let's say. And I do like the scenes where El Fayoumi is kind of talking with the witnesses, and he's always cracking up the jokes, and the judge always is like, what's happening? The judge gets angry, and then Cunningham gets angry, and I like that confusion as well.
Yeah, I can watch for those scenes. I already watched a bit. So now, coming into my second question, I would like to ask that, have you had any previous experience with theater, or is this something new for you?
I've also played in my second year of college in the same department, the American Culture department. I've played in Everybody. I was playing the character Death, so it's a very different character from the Judge, so it was very hard to...
Yeah, and what do you think about Judas' inability to fully tell his own story affect the way we see him?
That's a great point, because throughout the play until the very end, we see Judas always like in that catatonic state, you know, not talking, not looking. He's just there. We're kind of observing him doing nothing. So Judas' defending thing is, you know, going on with the witnesses and like with the Cunningham, El Fayoumi. It's like everybody's making a decision for Judas except himself. You know, he's never got the chance to explain himself, and I think that affects how he's portrayed. So maybe we have no idea who Judas is, you know. We only see the perspective of other people, how they perceive Judas and his actions. I don't know, maybe if Judas could talk, maybe if Judas had a chance to explain himself in front of the judge and the advocates as well, maybe the things will be different. I don't know.
Yeah, that's a great answer, actually. Thank you. And lastly, I would like to ask about the Judas, the character itself. What do you think about Judas? Do you think he's guilty, or like you're close to being innocent? What do you think about him?
That's actually the whole point of the play. This question really summarized it as well.
It's for us to find out ourselves.
Well,
but
you know, it depends who you ask and from which perspective you ask, you know. I think the whole aim is to confuse the society as you know, the audience itself
so
as
it
well.
poses a question to us.
Yes, I do want to ask the question to audience, but there are several answers we can give because, you know, there are a lot of complot theories within this theme. Did really Judas betray Jesus? Was he born to betray Jesus? When we look at from a religious side or more theological side, there are a lot of people defending that it was fake, you know, he was born to betray Jesus. So they were like, he was not really guilty because that's what God told him to do, blah, blah, blah. But that's too much reading into it, maybe. But if you ask me, as a judge, I'm also confused. So I don't really know.
I don't blame you.
Yeah. But maybe his actions were guilty. That doesn't make him a bad person. So I have no idea, actually. I have no idea. I do believe that he's guilty within his actions, but when we look at his conscience and, you know, himself,
So it's
maybe he's
for us-
just another human being. I don't know. People do mistakes.
Well, in the end, it's for us to find out, right?
Exactly.
So it's not fixed, meaning it's not fixed.
So do you think that Judas is a victim or just, you know?
A part of the system.
Yeah.
Cog in the machine. Okay, thanks for asking.
Today I'm here with.
Cunningham.
Can you tell me, was it tiring preparing for this role?
Yeah, my character was Fabiana as the Cunningham. She is the attorney of Judas Iscariot. And yeah, preparing for that role was very tiring, considering the amount of lines, and I was on stage throughout the whole play, so I didn't really have any time to catch up with the scenario or anything. So yeah, it was very tiring.
So, as an attorney of Judas Iscariot, do you think Judas is innocent? If he is, then why?
I'm not Cunningham, first of all, and I don't believe that anybody is innocent. But I also don't think that his penalty is deserved. So I think he is as guilty as everybody else. He doesn't deserve that.
As an audience, I feel very uncomfortable while watching this play because it was all over, like different people, different testimonies, and even Sigmund Freud was there. So, what do you think? How should audience feel when they watch this play?
I think it's good that you feel uncomfortable, and I think that's one of the goals of the play because it is also like funny and it has sarcasm in it. But in the end, it's a tragic play, and it has a sad story. So it's good that it makes you feel questions, and yeah, it's good.
So, what do you think of your own character as Cunningham?
I think I find myself very close to Cunningham, and I think it's a challenge for the actor, although it seems like it's easy. But the challenge for me was that I had to make the person who talks Cunningham and not me. And getting to know her better. She's like a close friend of mine, actually. I like that she is very determined, and she doesn't like things that are contradictory. So I like that about her.
Thank you for joining us today.
I'm today with.
Chan. I play El Fumi in the play. This is my first experience in theater, and I'm kind of excited for the play.
Thanks for joining us here today, Chan. And I have a lot of questions for you regarding your character. So, before beginning, can you introduce your character to us? Any important scenes that you like? What do you think about your character, etc.?
My character is kind of a charlatan and trickster figure. He's definitely not an actual lawyer. He's more of a imposter there, and you can see that clearly from his reactions to stuff and the scenes with characters he considers as rivals. For example, the one with Freud, where he constantly mocks him and tells him that he made a U slip. That's kind of the best part, in my opinion, about the character.
And I know that you have a very heavy accent when you're speaking. Was it hard to come by?
It came very naturally. Like when I try to do that accent, I try to imitate some of my Arabic friends that I usually talk to on the internet.
Yeah.
And I've sent them the video, and they liked the accent as well. They thought it was mostly authentic, and they said they wouldn't be able to tell that I wasn't Arabic if they didn't know me beforehand.
Yeah.
So it worked.
You actually have a very good accent. I just congratulate you. Now, coming into my second question, I would like to ask you that what was your first impression when you read the script? What was your reaction?
When I saw my character's first line, I immediately thought to myself that I had to be this character, because it was just, I found it very funny, the way he says that, "It is I, Yusuf Akbar Wahid Al-Nasr Gamal Al-Fayumi," stuff like that. So I just found it very relatable in a sense, because I don't know, it's funny.
Well, that's a great choice for you then. Now, during rehearsals, how did you work on improving yourself or your character?
I mostly focused on how my body moves, to be a bit more expressive in my moment, and also to nail the accent. So it was kind of like broken English, but also understandable to to the audience.
I see. By the way, this was your first time in theater, right? You never practiced before. How does it feel? Are you nervous or excited, maybe?
I know, I'm very excited. It's just something very fun to do. Like, we aren't professionals here, and it's not a very serious thing, so there is not much pressure on us to perform to such an professional degree. So I just found it very entertaining and exciting to be here.
So it's for fun, it's
Yeah,
casual,
mostly.
nothing to take so seriously. For my last question, I would like to ask you that, what do you think about Judas? Do you think he is a victim, or what do you think about him in general?
Interesting enough, that's a question about fate, because you could say that he's a victim because he was fated to betray Jesus Christ. Because the religion says that it's deterministic. He didn't have a choice in betraying Jesus or not to betray him. So in a cosmic sense, I think he is the victim, but in a material sense, like day-to-day people, if we say that none of this was metaphysical and the actual events that happened between Jesus and Judas were just ordinary human events, then of course, in that case, he would be the villain.
So it's again ambiguous, it's not really fixed. We don't have a meaning right here, like fixed meaning, right? Okay, that's all. Thanks for being us.
Thank you for having me.
Hello, can you introduce yourself briefly?
Of course, my name is Güler Beyza Ay, and I play Matthias of Galilee and Saint Matthew in the last days of Judas Iscariot.
Can you briefly also talk about your character and how it's functioned in the play?
Of course, the first character I play is Matthias of Galilee, who is described as a lonely child, and he is a friend of Judas, a childhood friend, if you can say. And my other character is Saint Matthew, who is one of the 12 apostles and one of the 4 personalities that has Gospels, Gospel of Matthew.
What was your first reaction when you read the script? Because unlike other classical Bible texts we studied, it is highly different and modernized version. So what do you think, and what was your reaction to that?
I definitely felt closer to the characters. With their modernized versions, they were like more in the present with me, so I could empathize with them. And even though I don't consider myself religious or something, I feel like there is some truth to it. And even when I read the script, I feel some truth. And I mean, this is a courtroom play, but it somehow feels sacred as well, as it argues with universal values and maybe argues that who is really guilty.
So another question, what do you think audience should feel during this play? Because, as we said, it's not a regular or classic play that we studied. It has different takes and like different jokes and different ironic lines. So, what do you think? How audience should feel, or should they feel uncomfortable while watching it?
Maybe not necessarily uncomfortable, but I know it's not that much of a comforting play, even though you can feel closer to the characters. But in a way, this shows that you don't have to close with people to sympathize with them, as we do with Judas. Maybe audience leave with questions like, can my actions reflect my personality? Should I be defined by just one action? Myself, I mean, many people come across different experiences in life and they're not always good, and sometimes they do things that they don't really like and want, like Judas. But in the end, I think it's important to find salvation. Judas, forgive yourself, because I think we did.
Yeah, thanks so much for joining us today.
I thank you.
Hey everyone, today I'm here with.
Yağmur Erdem. I played Saint Thomas.
Can you briefly talk about your character and what is its function in the play?
So Saint Thomas is one of the apostles, and in the play, he actually, I think that he testifies in favor of Judas. I mean, it's a bit in between, but I would like to interpret it as he's in favor of Judas, because as a doubting Thomas, as a person with trust issues, I like to say, he also suffered from like his lack of faith. I think he doesn't find it fair that Judas is punished and he isn't.
Yeah, I think that's really true in that sense. So my next question is, you played in Everybody in previous years. So what was the biggest differences for you, and how was it different for you to get prepared for these two roles?
Well, first of all, in Everybody, I was a freshman. I was much less experienced. It was like a nice experience for me to like be a part of something like that in my first year, and then this year we have a much more crowded cast and backstage, so it wasn't as intimate, and we weren't like that closed friend group kind of team, but it was still very nice. I made great friends. I love my team. Well, how big the team was kind of made a difference between the experience of both, but I would say that I enjoyed being in both teams. I mean, if it was possible, I would love to do one in my sophomore year as well, and I hopefully want to be a part of Akit Teatro in my final year next year as well. It's such a unique experience to me, and I would love to join every team as much as I can.
You really did a great job in that, and we're looking forward to it. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
And today with me I have
Uraz.
welcome Uras, and thanks for being us here today. And I have several questions that I'd like to ask you. Now, first of all, can you introduce us your character?
I'm playing Jesus of Nazareth. If you don't know, it's your Lord and Savior. Contrary to first thoughts, don't actually have a major role in the play. I'm only in Act 2, and you can think of me as a Deus Ex Machina. I come into the play and I tie the knot, basically.
You're playing Jesus and you're not really like on the scene?
Yeah. You don't see me much, but when you see me, it will make a lasting impression of you, I believe, on you. Because I come in, and as I said, as a godly force, pun intended, and just solve the equation and
Just leave.
do the like last chalk underneath.
Okay, now as Jesus, I'd like to ask you several questions about Judas as well.
Of course.
Now, my first question is that, did your understanding of Judas change throughout the rehearsal?
It did, actually, because when we first started and we first read the play, the script, Judas was angry. He was seen as a character who was just wrathful and rashful. And when we acted and we played and we felt it, in the blocking especially, it came more to our hearts. in the end, I believe Judas matured as a role and as a person.
Okay, that's a great answer.
Thank
Okay,
you.
secondly, I would like to ask about, in your opinion, who is the real culprit in this story or in the play?
As I said, let the innocent one among you cast the first stone. And this is a trial. And it's a trial attended by people in purgatory, so I don't think there is anyone who could really judge a character here, but if we had to judge a character, I think everybody in this play is guilty in some way. Me as also, because in the play, well, not to give spoilers, but there is a line saying, "Where were you when I needed you?" from Judas to me. And I said, "Do what you gotta do." Not in response, but when he was kissing me. So I believe I also play a role in his death, even if passively.
I see. Well, as Jesus, what do you think about Judas himself? What do you think about his crime? Let's say crime.
Well, if you take J. Leonge's class, you'll probably know what the whole play is about, how Judas betrayed me, quote unquote.
We all
And
did.
for you to judge a crime, you must also understand why it was committed. It's actually a legal precedent in all the world, why a crime was committed. And Judas's actions was not done with an intent just to betray me. He was trying to, as I think it's implied in the play, he was trying to push me to take action. But in the end, that is not what was God's plan was all about in the Bible. Jesus was not this revolutionary character in the way that his mission was to overthrow the Romans. It was to overthrow evil on earth, but not by throwing Romans or like throwing Judea into a revolution.
So the answer is not really obvious, right? We have to comment on it.
Yeah.
The meaning is not fixed again.
I don't think you can give a definitive answer to any question. It has multiple layers. All those multiple layers have multiple layers on their own. You must understand biblical history. You must really watch the play and read between the lines.
Okay. And as my last question, as Jesus of Nazareth, I'd like to ask you that if you had one more last thing to say to Judas, what would you say?
I would say to him, please, Judas, take my hands and love as I do love you.
All right. Thanks for being here again.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no worries.
I'm here with.
Satan.
Yeah, so can you briefly tell us about your role in the play? Because I think it's a huge part of the theater. Can you just briefly talk about it?
Yeah, I was Satan. And I think I was important because I put forth a lot of like truth and the honesty about the play, about Cunningham, about God. So that's why I think I was kind of important.
So it was our first experience of theater, right?
Yes, it was.
How does it feel and how was it like to getting ready for this role?
Honestly, it was a lot easier than I expected. And I'll be honest, I still didn't read the play fully. I just know my lines. And I also didn't know that there were funny parts in the play. I thought it was like a tragedy or something, so I was so surprised when people started laughing. But other than that, I think it was really fun because I think our teachers did a great job at assigning the roles to us. I think Satan was really easy for me to get into. Not to say I'm a bad person, but yeah.
So my next question is that how the light impact on your role in terms of when you see the audience and when you don't?
So in our play, the audience is actually the jury member, as everybody knows. And when I can see the audience, I think for me it added a bit more reality because I actually felt like I was looking at the jury and trying to convince the jury when I was talking. And when I couldn't see, it felt a bit more theatrical. Like I felt it was, yeah, I'm in a play right now. It didn't feel as real to me.
So what was the most memorable part of this play for you?
For me, I think it might have been the bar scene with Judas because even though for the audience it was such a simple scene, like I begin explaining and I walk and I pick up the table and the drinks, and it was so fast and so seamless, but behind the scenes it took so long to perfect that part. We talked about so many things, like should the desk be in the middle, should it be on the side, should I pick it up, should somebody else pick it up and bring it up. It was so long, but in the end I think it was one of the most memorable scenes, and it was so much fun for me too. And it was actually a lot longer, but it was cut, so that's a bit sad, but I think it was the most greatest and fun part.
I think it was really smooth while watching it because we didn't actually notice that the table is going up. We just closed our eyes and it was there. So it was a great job.
Thank you.
I think you actually slayed the role, and it was not because you're a bad person, but you just really embodied the attitude of Satan. Yeah, I think it was amazing. So thank you for joining us.
Thank you, thank you.
Today I am here with.
My name is Zafer, and I played Judas in our play Last Fate of Judas Iscariot.
Thanks for being with us here today, Zafer. And as by right now, everyone knows that you are Judas. And I have several questions regarding your character. And my first question would be that, how does it feel to be Judas? And what do you think about your character?
Playing Judas was a bit hard, mostly because I mostly didn't do anything.
Yeah. Throughout the whole play, you just sit on the corner and
It was really hard to both zone out and not zone out. So I have to be there and also act like I am not there. And also I didn't quite get to practice it that much because in order for me to really practice it, it needs to be a perfect rehearsal. Because if we don't do it perfectly and if we keep changing things, then it doesn't really make much sense because it won't be my experience that I will have in the actual day. So I didn't have that much practice. And when it comes to being Judas, I mean, it was fun.
Was it?
Yeah. I get to do like at least 3 different sides of his character: his childhood, his drunk and troubled state, and the angry moment with Jesus. So it was fun. I like doing that.
Yeah, my favorite part with you was the last scene where you talked with Jesus. I think that was the climax of the play. Dedim. Al işte. Olabilir. It was the climax of the play and my favorite part of the play, to be honest. Now, coming into my second question, I would like to ask about, was this, some people may know the answer already, but was this your first play? Was this your first time being in the theater? And how was it?
Not really. I also played in Everybody that we did 2 years ago.
As what?
My character didn't have a name, pretty much like a lot of the other characters. It was called D, I think.
Yeah.
I was a friend of everybody, basically. And I had a really funny scene there that none of us really forgot ever. And I don't think will ever. So it was like, you know what? And I can say the last one.
Yeah. We remember, but can't say it here, so...
So yeah, it was fun, but I really liked this one, this Judas character a lot more.
Yeah. Now, coming into rehearsal process, how was the rehearsal? When you first saw the script, what do you think about it? You're just sitting around in the corner for like a first stage, then just some little scenes, and at the end it's just big. But how was it in general?
My answer will be that I didn't realize that I was going to be on stage throughout the play.
You just thought that you would come in sooner or later?
Yeah, I only focused on the parts where I did talk. And for the parts that I didn't, well, I realized that I was going to be there and just, well, after half of the rehearsals, I think. So it was... I got into this situation like, okay, I'm gonna be there and wait. Okay.
Yeah, I get you.
Then I realized that I shouldn't laugh.
More serious.
Yeah, I really practiced that a lot.
Yeah.
Especially the scene with Saint Monica, that was hell.
Yeah. I mean, everyone was laughing and you were just like standing there being stoic and all.
Actually, in the recording, you can see how I hyperventilate. I'm going like...
Yeah.
So it was really hard. I didn't expect it and didn't really give much attention to the character of Judas before that. So I looked at how his lines are, what kind of a character he was, and I liked the role I got because
Does it fit you as a person? What do you like about him?
I liked that he had a lot of space to show emotions, that I will get to do some different things at the stage.
Can you give like an example, a scene example, where you just show your emotions like you said?
The bar scene.
yeah, that's another.
In the bar scene, I toned down the drunkenness, so that was a toned down version. Like in that scene, Judas is like, "Oh no, I did this, and it's done." So I really like the idea of being a bit cynical about yourself and also doomed. So yeah, that was the favorite part.
Okay, now my last question. As a Judas, what do you think about the character itself?
In terms of him being right or wrong, or
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, in the context of this play, with everything that we got to hear and see, I think he is a bit in the right side of things. But in the end, also, he sold him out.
Yeah.
So I just think yes, he is guilty, but the punishment is a bit too much. But also, as we see in the play, the punishment is mostly given to him by himself. That's what everyone tells him. So I don't really think it's anything about him being right or wrong. It's just he's poor on luck.
Unlucky for him.
Yeah.
Okay, excellent. Thanks for joining us here
course.
today, Zafer.
Thank you.
And thanks for the interview.
Hi everyone, we are here with our Duygu Hoca, who is the director of our theater from our department. So we're going to ask a couple of questions, and I'm going to start with the first one. What were your primary reason for selecting this play for production?
We had a lot of reasons. First of all, we needed a crowded play, and we needed a play that the students enjoy. So we read a lot of plays, and it was really difficult to decide. But then we read this one, and then we said, oh, okay, it's crowded, and it talks about something that our students are familiar with. And then we just started. But we had to, it was a very long play, so we had to edit it a little bit. I'm sorry, the playwright should be really angry with us. We butchered it a little bit, but still it was good, and then I think everybody enjoyed it. I mean, even the actors, the backstage, and the audiences.
Yeah, exactly. Because while we were watching, people were laughing, and at the same time they were thinking about the things, about the testimonies and all, and I think it was really effective.
I'm not a huge fan of comedies, but this one is, it was good.
Yeah, I agree. So the other question is that, would you say that the play offers an answer, or does it deliberately sustain ambiguity?
I don't think it offers an answer. The main objective of the play is to put a question mark in the audiences, because in daily life we're prone to jumping up to conclusions, and we live in a world that is defined by binary oppositions, right? But I think this play makes you question that. Right? Is it always easy to say somebody is guilty, right? And everybody thinks that Judas is guilty, right?
Yeah.
This is common knowledge. But this play makes you question that, right? I think that's what's really nice about this play. It makes you question, and there's no clear answer to that.
Yeah, exactly. While we were reading and studying Bible, we just said Judas is guilty, and that is the point. But this play really break that break the structure down. So another question is that, how does the use of historical and symbolic figures change the way we follow the story?
Like Pontius Pilate, Sigmund Freud, and Mother Teresa. I don't know. This play, there are so many. It provides different perspectives, I guess, and it doesn't give you answers because everybody has their own reasons, right? For example, Caiaphas the Elder, Pontius Pilate. It's sometimes easy to label a person guilty or not, but it helps us, these characters, their existence, it helps us to see the events from their perspectives, and it shows that it's never easy to give an answer. I think that's why it's really important. And Sigmund Freud, it adds another level because, you know, psychology, psychiatry, it's something new, right? They didn't have that back then. So it adds the element of comedy to that, I guess. Yeah.
Because when I was first watched and first read the script, I didn't expect anyone like Sigmund Freud. He was out of nowhere, but it really affected the play in a way.
Yes.
So my last question is that in light of Judas' psychological and existential state in the play, how should we understand the act of judging him?
The act of judging him or judging anyone? I guess that's the question here. Because as I mentioned before, we always jump into conclusions when we judge somebody, right? And it's not easy, it's never easy, and we should be able to question everybody, and we should be able to question our own judgment, right? Are we always right? That's more important in the play, I guess. And I think the most important scene in the play is the scene between Judas and Jesus himself. Here, Judas says that you forgave this person and that person, you did this and that, but me, you say that you love me, but I'm your heart, but you know, why did you not forgive me? And I think that's important because at that point, I'm like, hey, Judas is right. Because I really like that scene in that sense. It complicates the issue, I guess.
Exactly. So thank you for Duygu Hoca joining us today.
I hope you like my answers. You enjoy listening to me other than the classes, right? Okay.
It was a pleasure. Thank you, Duygu Hoca.
Do you have any other question?
No, that was all. Thank you.
Okay. Bye.